Well, welcome everyone to Behind the Scanner. We've got our intro running in the background, and well, we've got a wow, holy cow, episode 99 already. If you have a question for our guests, who are Joris Arts from the Netherlands and FrNico from France, so welcome to the show, both of you. If you have a question for them, please join us during the broadcast in our live chat room on the website behindthescanner.com, or you can submit questions through the YouTube Q&A tool. And if you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us, also at behindthescanner.com, and click on guest suggestions. You can subscribe to our channel at Behind the Scanner. And watch previous recordings on YouTube. And for all the latest updates and news, follow us on Facebook and Google+. And, well, I'm not Kelly, even though we've got her, I'm using her voice at the moment, but I am Daphne from Washington, D.C., and yes, I'm still reeling from the fact that it's episode 99.
Yeah, it's been going for a while. I'm co-host Frank Martinez from Orange County, and it's good to be here again. It's kind of like we're doing this all over again. Round 2.
It's a little bit of deja vu. For those of you who were in Brooklyn or were not in Brooklyn but maybe watching on the Aegis Nova live stream, but yeah, that was pretty fun. And anyways, as usual, we've got a really fun, quirky show tonight. Joining us for the Weekly Truth, we've got Typhoon Jim from Operation Essex.
Hello, Daphne. How are you doing?
Doing well. Getting back in the reel of things for sure.
Excellent. Excellent.
And we will have Code of the Show with Jesse Spangenberger. And I know we took a little break last week, but just to reward you for your patience, we do have a couple of interesting announcements, and one we're going to save towards the end of the show, but one I'll just share with you a little bit now. We've been doing this for a couple of years, almost every week, and we've decided to take on kind of some summer hours to give our staff a little break and enjoy some nice weather, and to actually play Ingress instead of talk about it. So with that, mark your calendars for July 7th, when we will actually be here for episode 100. And stay tuned at the end of the show, and we will actually reveal who will be our special guest for episode 100. It's a big milestone. And in that same vein, we're going to change things up again for tonight. While we've been doing simultaneous interviews in between both of our guests, tonight we're going to do one-on-one, kind of the traditional way. And so right now we'd like to welcome our first guest, FrNico from France. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, thank you, Daphne. Thank you for welcoming me to Behind the Scanner. It's quite an honor to be here.
Yes, well, I would say bonjour, and meaning for the good morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
what
morning,
time is it right now?
it's right on the time of the of the day here. Yeah.
Yes, I bet. And so, where exactly in France are you right now?
I'm currently in Lyon, so it's southeast of France. So if you if you see Paris, it's like kind of like 500 kilometers south of Paris, right? So it's a nice place. You are like just like close to the mountains, close to the sea. You're just like in the middle of everything. So it's a perfect place.
I bet.
Right on. So, Nico, I hear you get around quite a bit, huh?
Yeah, actually, the thing is that I'm like traveling between Paris and Lyon. So I'm working in Paris. I'm actually living in Lyon. It's just like a 2-hour train, really fast train between the two cities. So I'm like coming back and forth like every week, almost every week. So I'm like I'm playing Ingress in both cities. It's just a thing to move keys and stuff like that. So that's kind of helpful. So yeah.
You said how far are those apart? Did you say?
Sorry.
How far apart are those two cities?
Oh, it's it's like 500 kilometers, so it's like 350 miles. But the thing is that we have like a really fast train. It's called the TGV. In 1 hour and 55 minutes, actually, you can travel between the two cities. So, and during peak time, you actually have one train every 30 minutes. So it's not like taking the subway, but it's close to it, right? So
that's crazy. So I bet you do move a lot of keys then, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I would if I if I had 350 miles I could travel every day. I'd move a lot of keys.
Yeah, actually, it might come, in some time. I heard about the Hyperloop between, LA and San Francisco. So maybe that could be common in some time, in US. Who knows?
So those two places aren't, even though you commute between them the most, they're not the only places you spend a lot of time at. Where were you just recently?
Yeah, actually, I'm just coming back from San Francisco. I'm actually also spending, some time over there, like, I don't know, maybe something like 2 months per year. My work allow me to actually work from there. So, I just came back like a few days ago. So jet lag kind of, can really bad, especially at 3 a.m. now. I mean, I don't even know exactly what time. I mean, my body doesn't know exactly at what time is it now.
I can't imagine. And I was really disappointed that I was in San Francisco just a couple weeks ago for my brother's wedding, and I actually got to hit a few of your portals while I was traveling.
But you had time to do a trip to Napa. That was most important. That was more important, right?
True. I did have a day or two in the city. I still have friends there, but. Yes, so I did get to see some of your stuff. But
okay, you managed to do the banner you were planning to do in Berkeley?
In where?
In Berkeley, you were planning to do a banner, right?
Yes, I thought so, but when you're traveling and then you're a little more tired than you would like to be, and you want to be somewhere else, and it just
you never have enough time.
Yes, you have to learn flexibility. But yes, in Ingress, you do have to learn to be prepared for anything. And that night, that day that I know we were trying to get together was the day that we decided we wanted to take a nap, and we went to Sonoma County earlier than originally planned. But so, I mean, in the vein of the jealousy of how you actually get to go to, I think, 3 of the most beautiful cities in the world. What is it? So you said work allows you to do that. What is it that you do that you can do this? And how can we get hired for that?
So the thing is that I'm working for like a telecom company. I will share you the details, but the thing is that my manager is actually based in Singapore. I have like the marketing team in Montreal. We have like some sales team in San Francisco. The product team is also in London. So it's like the thing is, at the end, they don't really care where I am. I'm from the engineering team. They just want me to be available. So they're fine. I can work from Paris, from Lyon, from San Francisco. I mean, that's that's kind of cool. So time zone. It's when your boss is in Singapore, and when you're working with the marketing team in Montreal every day. You can
work anytime you darn well please.
Yeah.
All right, so then my follow-up question would be, are you guys hiring?
Oh, okay, I will send you some details,
Right on. just remember, she's going to be competing for your portals if you hire her, and she's going to know where you're going.
Yeah,
So
I know. But
just
she, I
OPSEC,
mean,
OPSEC.
action change is just a form to fit, like, so I'm sure she can do that.
So for everyone watching, don't forget you can interact with us online. We're in the chat room at behindthescanner.com. Go ahead and visit that website. In the top right corner, you can see chat. Click on that button and join us in the chat room. I know Daphne's in there. I'm in there. The guys in the show are in there, and we're having these little kind of sidebar conversations in there. Also, but more importantly, you can submit your questions to us, and then we can then ask them to the guests later on in the show. So do it now. Now, back to Nico. Now, those aren't just beautiful cities, but they're also destinations for food, and I understand that food is kind of your thing.
Yeah.
I hear you're a pretty good cook.
Yeah, I'm a pretty good cook. I mean, you have to ask my guests actually, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I do love that, and the fact moving between France and the U.S. When you're over there and you cook some French food, some French recipe, the guys over there are kind of like really impressed. Sometimes it can be really simple stuff like you do like a potato gratin, which is like just sliced potatoes with whipping cream, and you just slowly cook that. It tastes
Yeah.
really good, and you're just amazed because it's like, oh, it's so French, and so but I do love to do that. Just yesterday I did like a cherry cake. It's yeah, and I will have some guests over the weekend, so I'm sure we'll cook some stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. So what are some of your favorites to cook up?
Favorite stuff to cook. I love to cook like perfectly cooked beef, and you just like do like I was saying like like just a potato gratin, simple stuff. Or like the other day I was just doing like yeah, you do. I mean, the thing is that you do really simple stuff. You just like put some right spices, and usually it's it's really just super. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, Nico, anytime you come to Southern California, you have a place to stay and a kitchen. I'll be,
Okay.
and you can test those recipes out on me.
Okay.
For Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you know what, Daphne? I do have an office over there as well. So.
All right. Well, that said, we actually do have something else in common other than a passion for food and wine and things.
Wine in the U.S. is quite interesting. It's when you talk about food, you have to talk about wine and food pairing because that's really important. And when I'm in the U.S., I do love the French wine, and yeah, we do have like really good one. But in the U.S. also, you do have some good ones. You just have to travel a bit, and you just discover some really nice places. When I was like visiting Oregon sometime, I discovered some amazing wine, really looking like really close to the one we have in Burgundy.
Oh, wow. All right. Actually, that is something that I have wondered, and it's interesting to hear from a Frenchman that some of the American West Coast wines are comparable or as good as.
Yeah, I mean, if you go up north, that will be close to the French one because you will have less sun, so you don't have like that alcohol level that you will have in the one you have in Napa Valley because it's a sunny place. But I mean, who can complain about the sun, right?
We're getting a little too much here right now, so it might be the humidity added. But in addition to that, before Ingress, you and I also were not very much of gamers. So, how did you get introduced to Ingress?
It's actually a nice story. I was just a friend of mine just told me yeah, there is a new game coming. I know you don't play a lot of games, but that one you will see you have to actually to walk, and it just send me a request to install that, and yeah, I did that, and after like a day or two I was just like hooked on the game and was just playing that. So it's kind of yeah, that's Ingress was really like different style of game. So.
So it sounds like Trekker and Explorer might be your top stats. How's your Seer
Yeah,
doing?
Yeah, tracker because I'm mostly only playing in large cities, so you have to anyway walk. I don't like to progress. When I'm in Lyon, I'm kind of outside of the city, so you do have to use your car to actually go to the areas. But otherwise, I'm like exploring a lot. So I'm like at 18,000 UPV. So it's yeah. The next milestone is kind of far for now, but yeah. No.
How's your seer doing?
Here, it's actually just at like 100 because when you're based in Paris, you already have like too many portals submitted. But the 100 I have, I'm kind of proud of that because most of the time that was like all the ones that got approved, that was the one I was submitting when I was like coming late at night, kind of drunk. So it's like drunk portal submission, and not the best ones because that's all the ones that got approved, right? So.
Well, I guess that's better than drunk texting, right?
Sorry?
I said, I guess drunk portal submitting is better than drunk texting.
Yeah.
I have a lot of portals submitted. I know all about that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen some of them. Some of them do get passed. You'd be surprised.
It's a shame.
But okay, so enough about Seer. Of course, I need to learn more about your exploration stats. So, what is your explorer number at now?
Yeah, so explore, like I said, I'm at like 18,000. So I visited like, when you're playing in Europe, you go to most anomalies because it's like just a couple of hours of flight, most of the time. So the largest city in Europe, I visited all of them. And in the US, for now, I just played mostly on West Coast. I did play in Hawaii last time. That was nice. Yeah, I know.
I don't feel so bad about getting you up early in the morning then.
Yeah, but yeah, the last time I was in the US, like a few weeks ago, I was in Vegas. I did like that amazing banner. I'm kind of proud of my scanner to see that now. Exploring is something, and banner. It's the new when you're like level 16 and you played a lot. Mission banner. It's really great to actually discover some cities and to play differently.
Oh yes, and well, our second guest, Agent Jorte. Yes, I'm excited to hear his story about his very recent banner experience. But all right, so while you were doing some exploration, or maybe it was a non-Ingress related trip, but what was that first trip that you did after you had started playing Ingress?
Oh yeah, after I started playing English, I just started playing in Paris and stayed like few days, and then I straight flight to San Francisco for the job. And at that time, I was just like maybe level 5 or 6, and I was with my friend who actually told me to install the game, and we started to playing in the neighborhood, and we just had a guy coming by us in his car, he just lowered his window and said, "Hey guys, are you playing Ingress from the Resistance?" "Yeah, we do." "Oh, okay, I'm down and I just, want to invite you to the community." We are just like, "What? We're just, playing a game?" It's like we have like stranger in the street, like coming at us and asking, what we are doing, and they want to invite us to a community. And just like a few days after that, we got into the community, but not only, we actually got invited to a barbecue party, like just like a week later, and we ended up in a place in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and it was a barbecue. I need to thank John. He was the one organizing that. It was just amazing. We had like 30 strangers, and they just like I don't know. We were like just not saying much at that time, but for me that was really the first true experience of what Ingress is, meeting people.
Nice, and I guess it's all kind of history from there, huh?
Yeah, I actually had my level 8 over there. I had my level 16 in France, but yeah, San Francisco, I have lots of good memories over there.
Yeah, it just takes one guy in the car to say, "Hey, are you playing Ingress?" So, I mean, the social aspect of the game has always kind of been a big thing, right? And it continues to be a big thing. And one of those networks, I guess, of association is Burn, right? And it kind of sounds like you were in sort of something like that in the early stages. But my understanding is, what's your involvement now in that community, and how would you describe it to someone who doesn't really know what Burn is?
Yeah, so the brand is actually a community to connect people, right? So so lots of people like thinking that's like it's a big thing. It is a big thing in terms of connecting people, and that's that's what we do best. And like just like a week earlier, we had a new agent like just level 6, and he was like he told me that he was actually traveling to Istanbul to Turkey for a road trip, and I said, okay, yeah, great. Let me connect you to some people over there in Turkey. And just like I think something like a couple of hours later, he was chatting in the visitor hangout for Turkey. So that's what Burn is. Connect people, and we have like an amazing network at the Resistance for that. We have a map. We have a map, and we see every coordination like I am to connect these people. So. That's what it is, really.
Yeah, it really kind of feels. I mean, I was in Burn for a few years myself, so high five. But I mean, it's really a really cool network of people that are always connected, that are connecting other people, right? So it's kind of like, it's almost like I don't want to say a travel agency, but more of like a networking agency.
Yeah, we are talking about visitor hangouts. That's also something we do in France. We have like all these hangouts where we add people visiting the cities, and we prepare them some documentation about how to visit the city. How is they want to the mission banner. They are coming with a family, with wife and families. They want also them to do some shopping and stuff like that. So we are preparing all these visitor documents so they can use, and people are quite impressed because the one who organize that, they know that it's kind of normal, that's standard to do that. But for the one visiting the cities, they are always amazed, and they are they because they see that we really care about people. That's what we do. So.
That's impressive. So you guys put together these packets for like visitors to show up, and they basically get an understanding of where the Ingress related stuff is and where the distractions are for their family. Like that's
yeah.
That's really smart. That's awesome.
At that specific time of the day, you should not go to that place.
Right.
If you need to buy a SIM card, you can go to this shop, and you will have this good price. You want some good restaurant, okay, go over there to that neighborhood. So stuff like that. Yeah, we do that.
I love it.
So if
really
you ever
cool.
visit Paris or Lyon, just tell me. I will add you to the.
I hope that's open to Enlighten. I am missing France like no other now. And yes, last time I went was pre-Ingress, unfortunately. But yes, I do love France. And at first, when we were scheduling you for the show, I thought that the FR before your name was actually stood for brother or frère. And maybe there is actually a priest who plays or used to play that's based in the Bay Area too, and so I thought, oh, maybe, but no, then you corrected me that it actually stands for France or friend. And
because when I started playing, I was like the French Nico. I was like, hey, you're French Nico. So when I was there, when I choose my name, it was like it's just like that's. Was the common thing. That was common sense.
Right. Oh no, and yeah, it makes absolute sense. And well, and what is more French than Bastille Day? And you celebrated Bastille Day in a very with a very Ingressy twist. So how did you do that in your hometown?
Yeah, that's way back. When I started playing basically the first off I did in France was for Bastille Day. It was like July 2013, something like that. 2 years ago, and I was just like playing for like the past 6 months, and in my city Lyon, we had never blew big field over the city. So I said, okay, it's Bastille Day. We have like that link, that long link over there. Just use it, and we did like 14 layers of blue for July the 14th. Because Bastille Day, July the 14th. So. That was kind of amazing, and that's really when I sense that I need to participate more in organizing stuff because that was what I like. That's what I like to do. So organize, coordinate, stuff like that.
Organize, tourism. You have quite a few jobs, man.
you play a bit less, but you do help a lot of other people to play. So most recently I haven't started any big hub, but I support them. So when people need actually to have like some contacts in some other cities, neighboring cities, you put people in touch, and it's way better when you do something on your side, you have just enough time to do what you don't know how to do. But if you have like a team of people and you give them you teach them, then you do bigger things. So yeah, that's what I used to do.
Absolutely. So some quick housekeeping for everyone watching. Remember that you can submit your questions to our guests at behindthescanner.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can also click on the banner at the bottom that says be part of the conversation. From there, just click the square grid menu icon in the upper right and select Q&A. So more interactive and less formal. Just visit our chat room at Behind the Scanner, like I said, and we'll be pulling questions from both of those spots. And we'll ask them in just a few minutes. So, Nico, you said you're very organized, which is a really important skill to have, especially given your amount of travel, the amount of efforts that you put into the community, the events that you enjoy doing, all of these things, or even running an op for that matter. But now, where are you focusing your organizing skills at the most, would you say?
We are currently organizing the Nice Anomaly coming June 25th. So I'm actually one of the organizers on that. So please, guys, come to Nice. We need more people. But yeah, we have like a really large organization team. It's a really impressive job to do. It's like a second job when you're organizing an anomaly. But that's what currently we are doing. So and it's just like in 2 weeks. So.
Oops, sorry about that. And well, ready for some viewer questions? Nico?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Frank touched on some potential stats you are probably already excel at earlier, but which are you proudest of?
Yeah, the stats, my scanner, I'm really a builder, so I'm really close to close, no, because I slowed down a bit, but I'm really good at builder. So that's what I do. Just to compare, builder to a purifier. I just got the platinum medal for purifier, but for the builder, I'm close to Onyx. So that's my profile.
So, given that you're in Paris and Morka is a notorious stats person, I assume it's probably very ezy to get builder if you just kind of follow his footsteps or his activity.
You have so many portals over there. Last time we were checking for mission day, we had like something like 14,000 over there. Yeah, because we did have a mission day over there. I was part of the organization as well. It was amazing. But yeah, we also have lots of mission banner. So the second stat, I'm actually I'm on it for like some time on Spec Ops, but I'm actually trying to get the 1,000 missions completed number. So I'm at like something like 800 for now. So it's really close.
Wow.
I think at Nice, since we plan lots of banner over there for all our visitors, I'm guessing I would be able to reach that number over there.
So tempting. I love these.
The French Riviera, it's a summertime, really nice period. Just tell me.
You never know, but I will let you know if I do.
Nico makes it sound way too good, right? Like he's got food, he's got Ingress, he's got tourism packets, he's got the French Riviera, he's got like.
It's easy, you just check on our website, you even have like the flight, you can compare the flight, book your flight, then for the hotel and stuff like that, we have some good plan, like it's for the resistance, but you know me, so I can help you.
All right. Yes, very tempting. And as soon as the show's over, I might have to look at flights. But in the meantime, one more question, and that we had asked is, what have you found out about yourself through Ingress that you didn't know about before?
That's a good one. I think the fact that I can mobilize people, I can energize and bring up teams quite quickly. So that's something I was doing at my job, but not at that scale with such large teams. So I was quite surprised that people can when you do a decent job, people follow you. But in that case, it's not a job, right? It's just a game. So I was quite amazed that you can actually do that. I can actually do that.
It's a good skill to find out.
Yeah. Maybe I should put that on my resume.
It has gotten. We did have a guest who did say she got a job because of her work from Ingress.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think Ingress is a skill on LinkedIn, but yeah.
We could make it one.
And what you do with it is definitely, I mean, it is a big skill and it's a lot of work. So, but it sounds like you've got a good gig given your.
I'm gonna go to LinkedIn and I'm gonna say that Nico has that skill. I'm gonna endorse that skill on LinkedIn right now.
Good one.
So it's time for our BTS tradition. For better or worse, we give our guests 60 seconds on the clock to talk about whatever they want to. Give a shout out to whoever they want. So it happened really quick. I mean, it kind of just flew by. So it's your time. You've got 60 seconds, Nico.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so I think I will refer to actually the company doing that game in Niantic, because we are actually in the middle of organizing the anomaly in Nice. So I'd like to first thank them for choosing Nice as a satellite site. But like I said, it's a satellite site, and in France we are kind of frustrated by the fact that we don't have a primary. The last primary was actually in Paris for Cassandra, so it's 3 years ago. We just had satellite site for the past a couple of times, Toulouse-Dorsana, and now Nice. So yeah, please Niantic, consider that France is not a small country. We need to have a primary over there, and yeah, don't forget about us.
Primary Paris.
Primary Paris is a pretty large city, but I can we can find some other cities where maybe it would be more human-sized city, but yeah. Sure, that will interest lots of people.
Oh, that'd be beautiful regardless. All right. But thank you so much, Nico, for coming on the air at this crazy hour for you. Good luck at work in the morning. And
I'm working from home, so that should be fine, but that will be honest.
All right. And good luck with the anomaly. Bonne nuit.
Thank you.
So before we get on to our second guest, it's also time for another tradition here on Behind the Scanner. We're going to do the Weekly Truth. And this week we have Typhoon Jim to catch us up on what is going on the Ingress storyline. And everyone, please welcome Typhoon Jim.
Hi, how you doing this evening?
Good, man. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Very good, very good. So there's been a few things happening this week. Actually, some developments. They're a few days old, and actually one thing that's happened even today. So I'm going to bring us up to date on that, and maybe with a little bit of thoughts and speculations on the above. So let's see. So in the immediate aftermath of Aegis Nova Brooklyn, the biggest question that everybody had is what was the effect of that event going to be? We knew ahead of time that success by the Enlightened would mean that Roland Jarvis and the Acolyte would be able to extract what they needed to battle Ada. There was a vulnerability, perhaps some information or a specific weakness that Clue had in her mind. And so their goal was to both free Clue from Ada's influence and also find out the thing they needed. Now, we don't know what the actual impact of that was. We can assume they were successful, given how successful the Enlightened were that weekend, but we don't quite know what the fallout was. Now, there's been actually 3 events after that anomaly that have been significant. The first is that You may remember Susanna Moyer appeared at the Brooklyn Aegis Nova anomaly. She had some specific information about her father, who she actually met with. And she said that she had new information regarding Aegis Nova that she got from her father, that her father actually gave her an encryption key that protected it. However, we do know that after the event, I want to say perhaps a day later, an elderly body was found floating in the water off of Brooklyn. Now, we don't know if this is Nigel, and in fact, Susanna specifically says that it is not. She does not believe that to be the case. However, it is possible. He was on a ship when he met with her, so we don't quite know exactly what the outcome of that is. But in any case, Susanna may have the information that she needs, and that may have protected her, but maybe now that her father gave it up, he was of no use anymore. Now, the other event I'd like to discuss is, as I mentioned earlier, Clue was in a cabin that was in the Enlightened compound. Now, you may remember there was a bit of a fight there, and Oliver Litton-Wolf left, but Clue was brought to that cabin with the express purpose of extracting Ada's weaknesses. Now, the Acolyte has been asked repeatedly by Hank Johnson and by the agent community at large to disclose what exactly Clue's fate was, what happened after this event, how is she doing, how is she feeling, and she has not surfaced, and the Acolyte has been reticent to explain. Now, what's interesting is that some agents have actually taken it upon themselves to attempt to influence the events. If you remember back during the XM drought, in the immediate aftermath of Obsidian, agents were asked to display a glyph sequence at significant portals in order to unlock a power cube stash and perhaps bring back the XM in general. Well, some folks have taken it upon themselves to construct a sequence which they believe might give Clue a chance to liberate herself or escape from her captors. Now, this sequence is here, and it is actually, there's two things that are asked of us. One is that if you are going to attend any of the NL 1331 events, that you bring this sequence to that event and display it, take a picture with the van, because it is theorized that the van is strongly entangled with Roland Jarvis. We know that at one point it carried his body, and it has been strongly linked to him. He may have influence even over the destinations of the van. And in any case, that may give Clue a bit of an edge in this regard. Now, the other thing is, if you can't make it to any of those events, you can do the same thing. You can display the sequence, and you can show it with the hashtag #SaveClue and share that on G+. Now, the third thing I'd like to mention in brief is that there's been a new Obsidian breadcrumb. Now, you may remember back during Obsidian, there was a series of breadcrumbs that were released that explained, there were letters from the Roman spy Obsidius about his journeys and how he eventually encountered the Magnus and the story of the Obsidian Shield. Now, this new letter mentions that he had an experience in the coast right off of the point where he was to meet with the Magnus, where he was in the water with Sabella. And they supposedly transformed the sea creatures and encountered sea creatures that spoke in songs and whispers. And this is interesting because we keep hearing the metaphor of water and waves being associated with the Shapers. And the question is, are these creatures they met the Shapers? Are they the future evolutionary form which humans are to take? Is it something else? Is it the mystery of Atlantis? That's been a recurring theme. But in any case, we don't know. This is new as of today. So keep your ears and eyes open, and definitely keep seeking the truth.
I'm totally getting my head wrapped around about what, just the incorporating what's going on now in the present day and their loop with past history. It just sounds so interesting and intriguing, and I really appreciate groups like Essex that kind of help actually put that all together. So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
And Jesse was coming on with our code of the show.
Good evening, Daphne. And yes, I do. And with my little,
who's your little friend?
I have Yoshi, so he's gonna be a little mascot if he doesn't fall off. He likes to jump, so. So see if I can keep up here. Let's see. Will this work? I don't have the beard. I'm sorry. I'm not wearing a hat.
Well, that's okay. We got Typhoon Jim, who is our epic bearded one for the evening.
Ooh, Typhoon. All right.
We got our beard fixed for the night. I think we're good.
We got that taken care of. It has been a fixture since the very beginning. There's been someone holding that torch.
And for everyone who's watching, here's your free and multi-redeemable codes if it works. Hey, look at that.
Ooh.
So you can redeem them, share them, put them wherever you want. Daphne is currently quickly typing them in. I can see that. There's our bright red phone over here. Hey, Typhoon, what do you know about the Ingress van in Japan? There's one single post that was random.
And it's a bus.
Absolutely, yes, more than a van, that's for sure.
I want to go on.
So this is interesting. Now, we know that NL1331 is a vehicle with a lot of special abilities. Now, we heard a while back that there was going to be some attempts to work with newer technologies and perhaps have a more impressive vehicle and perhaps another country. And now we have seen what that vehicle is. It is called NL Prime. Now, that vehicle is going to be traveling to the Aegis Nova anomaly event in Tokyo at the very end of the cycle. Now, it is said that the property of this vehicle is to detect and enhance the powers of sensitives who are transported on board. So, if you happen to be traveling to Tokyo, you may want to catch a ride and see what happens.
Dang it. And I need to get a plane to Tokyo.
You should.
Yeah, it was a van. What was the outside of that? It was like crazy colored. It was just like psychedelic or something. It was like crazy color on the outside.
Even more than that. Even inside this, it's more than a van. I mean, and then more than a bus. The seats are specifically themed. There are little consoles. There are controllers. I'm not entirely sure what you'll get to do, but you'll have to ride it and find out.
Ooh, it's an Ingress ride.
It is.
Oh, has everyone copied the code that's right here? Before my little guy over here eats the codes for you, and you'll have to come back next week or 2 weeks, whenever we come back.
All right. Thank you, Jesse and guest.
Yoshi.
Yes. All right.
And there goes mine.
Yes.
All right, guys. So our next guest, moving on, is also here from a very challenging time zone, although not quite as late as Nico, but nonetheless grateful that he's here to join us and able to slot some of his evening time for us. So welcome, Joris Arts, Agent Jort G from the Netherlands. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing fine, and actually I am in the same time zone as Nico.
You are.
Wait, I
Because
thought you were an hour later for some reason.
an hour later, no, it's like 3:45 in the Netherlands. So
Dear God. All
Are you
right.
guys required to wear orange?
actually, this is kind of reddish, but yeah, if you say orange, that's fine with me.
That works.
Yeah, that works for me.
Good
Definitely.
eye on that. Yes, there was something very patriotic about that. Well, thank you so much for also staying up late. Although I gotta admit, though, or I suspect you must be exhausted, and maybe not just from the time zone, but what you did just a month ago.
Yes, approximately a month ago, I did the Hague City Tour banner, which is the most absurd banner in the Netherlands. It visits like 1900 unique portals. It's a 200-kilometer bike ride for me, and yeah, it was quite an adventure.
That's crazy. So wait, yeah, I mean, you kind of brushed over it, but it was a bike ride that was 200 kilometers.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of cycling in Netherlands. It's a really popular way to get around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you do any kind of like practice or training or anything? I mean, that's a pretty good distance, and I've rode around the city, and you don't ride that much.
No. Yeah, well, I cycle a lot because I do a lot of banners, and I do some of them by bike. but I never did 200 kilometers. But I just, well, basically I woke up one day and said, well, I need to do it, and then I just went on and do it.
That's awesome.
It was like I did the major banners in The Hague, and then there was this guy Kira Kaj. He was on episode 58 or something of Behind the Scanner, and he sort of challenged me. So he said, "Well, there's only one real banner in The Hague."
Real.
And I said, yeah, sure. And he said, well, that's if you do that, you're a real boss. And furthermore, he challenged me for a beer if I do it in 1 or 2 goes. And yeah, I ended up doing it in 1 go.
So how did you do it in 1 go?
Yeah, just woke up freaking early, just like today, and go to The Hague and cycle.
Yep, all day long.
Yeah, all day long, all night long, through the bushes, through the woods, in the dark.
Wow.
At 3 a.m.
Did you go alone?
Yeah, I went alone. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. There's actually 2 resistance agents who are planning to do it in a couple, which is cool. But yeah, I did it alone, and it was a real adventure. But I didn't do it all alone because I had a lot of people just cheering me on Com and on Hangout. So it was great.
How many batteries did you take with you to keep going?
Just 2.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I had a big one from Fashiru. He's a guy here in Leiden, and I had my own small one, so I was good for, I think, 6 or 7 charges on my phone.
Wow.
That's good advertising right there. Actually.
Yeah, the little phone that could right there.
Yeah.
Battery sponsorship.
Absolutely.
There's spokesperson.
Melt your scanner.
Yeah. So, did you take breaks? Did you?
I took a 15-minute break after I think it was mission 14. There's 24 missions in the whole thing, and I did it in 27 hours.
Oh my God.
So there's a break. I took a break after number 14, and I took a small break just having dinner after somewhere mid-18, I think. And then I was stopped at number 20 because there was an unreachable portal on a football field, a soccer field, and I had to wait outside the gate for 3 hours.
Wow.
So I did.
Okay, so that's a forced break, but you're still there, ready.
Yeah, I was still there, ready, waiting for the guy to show up because I checked their website and I knew that they were going to do soccer on Sunday. So I thought, yeah, well, go home? No.
I wonder if he's ever had anybody actually waiting for him at the gate. Like, he shows up and he's like, what?
Yeah, he was like, what? And I explained to him, and he was still like, what? Really?
Oh my gosh! Did you I hope you got to take a nap while you were waiting for the next destination.
I took a 30-minute nap, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Okay, that makes you feel a little bit more human in our eyes. I guess.
Yeah. Sorry.
So for everyone watching, don't forget that you can interact in our chat room on our website at behindthescanner.com. Just go there, click on the top where it says chat, and join the conversation. Like I mentioned earlier, a bunch of us are in there chatting it up, having a good old time, and also that's where you can submit some of your questions for the guests that we'll use later on. So now, back to Joris. Joris, so speaking of all of this crazy mission over at The Hague, and you're cycling, for this crazy amount of time and distance, the part that surprises me is, is it true that you used to hate cycling, and how did you get over that?
Yeah, I used to have a really crappy bike, and just cycled through my village and, well, doing groceries and stuff like that. And then one day, me and my wife broke up, and I was playing sports with a good friend of mine, and he said, well, you need to get out more. And that's the day he introduced me to the scanner. And 7 days later, I was level 8, and I had my first. I already did my first V8 farm, which was useless but great fun. There were like 12 people out in the rain with umbrellas doing farming, and the only thing I thought is, this glyphing is difficult. So, yeah, and it just went on from there, and well, I started to do my first huge banners just after work. I used to work in the southern part of the Netherlands, and then just after work at 5, take my bike out of the car and just cycle for an hour or 4, just to do a banner.
So I have a question to follow up that one up. Did you get into cycling as like a sport, or as far as, I mean, do you watch cycling, or did you just get into it for the game purposes?
Just for the game.
I had to ask because last year the Tour de France started right there in Utrecht.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Yeah, and so that was like a big deal. And so I was just curious if that was like a big thing for you, freshly coming into cycling, or embracing it, or if you didn't care.
No, but I wasn't even playing it. I think I was just playing at the moment because my sojourner is in somewhat like 334 days. So I'm almost there.
Almost there, yeah.
Wait, so let's backtrack a bit. So your Sojourner, that's when you first started?
Yeah, I've been hacking since day 1. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
I started on July 6th.
And wow, and you're already an epic record holder for.
Well, keep in mind, he got to level 8 in 7 days. He said.
That's that's after the 1 hour virus thing. That's okay.
Yeah,
Mad
sure.
respect. I will.
Yeah, and just before the anomaly in Rotterdam, I was lucky enough to hit level 16 on the same portal I used to start at. So that was great.
And well, I mean, you haven't been playing for a year. I know you are familiar. I don't know if there's an American saying about playing. It's so old, like uphill both ways. But do you ever learn anything about the early game mechanics, like how, I don't know if it was difficult or easy or whatnot, but what surprises you that early players had to deal with before?
Oh, yeah. There's this one guy in Leiden. He's been playing from day 1, and he said there were only 15 portals in the whole city, where there are now like 800. So
And
big respect to him.
27 hours worth of activity for you as well.
Yeah.
Well, in addition to just playing the game, you also do a lot of cross-faction events. What sort of events have you worked on?
I've done Banner Day, so basically just laying out a banner of 18 missions in my hometown, and we had a good day, both Resistance and Enlightened, just walking a banner and drinking a beer afterwards, so that's great. And we have this city, I don't know what you call it, mark, which is 2 crossed keys over each other, and I decided to make it with an agent that I've never met but spoken many times on the comm with. Just do a green key and a blue key as a cross-faction thing. So what we did, we just made a square just right outside the boundaries of the city, and then grayed all the portals within and made nice field art.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it brings people together because at the end of the day, that's just what this game is about.
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Bringing people together.
Absolutely. So, what tips would you have for a community that maybe isn't used to having so much cooperation between the two factions?
Well, it's kind of difficult for me to say because, well, I'm a fairly new player and there's been a lot of trouble going on in the past within some communities. So, and also in my own community, it's tough, but sit down together, drink a beer first, for God's sake, and leave your scanner off.
Beer seems to be the solution to most problems, right? Like
Yeah, at least being together and talking, not just staring at your phone,
Right.
walking in beautiful places, but talk.
Yep.
For me, there's nothing more fun than to go to a strange city, sneak up on a guy or a girl, and say, "Hey, you're playing Ingress."
Yeah, it's true. I do like to bust them. Like,
Yeah, that's
that is-
definitely.
You know what's funny is that when you do that, it's like you're instant friends, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the best part I think of Ingress.
hopefully,
Like-
I have heard the opposite, but yes, hopefully, and I think that's the point. You have something in common that I have, and
Yeah. I've never snuck up on somebody or at least caught somebody playing Ingress and where they were grumpy. Like it's always been like, "Oh my gosh, you too!" And then you have a quick like 30-second chat, and then you're on your way.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. Like it's you both leave smiling usually.
Yeah, absolutely. The most fun part was I was actually cycling through The Hague and a bit on the outside of the center, and suddenly from a balcony I heard, "Hey, Jortje, you are doing a banner. Play, go." And it's just some random guy, never met him, but yeah.
they knew what
That's
you were
great.
doing. Oh, that's that warms my heart that you're being rooted for from both sides. And had I known about it, I think internationally, you would have had a lot of cheerleaders as well. Right. So, but the cross faction thing is maybe part of the reason why you can get along that well, because your favorite color is actually blue.
Yes. My favorite color is blue, and yeah.
How did you
Even-
get to picking the green team?
Well, it's something about I have this this phrase up on my Google Plus, and it says resistance is blocking all, and enlightenment makes way for the new, and that's kind of my motto for last year. So yeah, I think that's why I chose green. Apart from the fact that my best friend who introduced me to Ingress is also green.
Oh, nice. Well,
Yeah.
Very cool. So for everyone watching, just some quick housekeeping again. Don't forget you can submit your questions on YouTube via the banner below. Just click on the button that says "Be part of the conversation," and from there, just click on the square grid menu icon in the upper right and select Q&A. We'll be asking some questions very, very soon. Daphne, if you're ready, I think we should just jump into some of the questions that we may already have.
yeah. So, I think this was probably written before, but how did you first hear about Ingress? Let's see. What? Have you ever coordinated your wardrobe and worn or confused your wardrobe because blue is your favorite color, but you are on the green team?
Yeah, actually, I have a blue soft gel jacket, so I'm wearing that when it's getting cold, and I don't have a green one, and I refuse to wear a green one because, well, green color doesn't suit me that well. I have the same guy, Kira. He wears green all the time, so yeah, I think I'm allowed to wear blue.
Sounds right. And last question is, since you like banners so much, what is one that you would like to do in the future? Maybe even that big one in the tower in Berlin.
Yeah, been there, seen it. Probably won't do it. No. Yeah, well, I might because
Come on.
it's a 30-hour cycle ride, so it's just 4 hours plus on my last attempt. Yeah, I might do it, but well, I think I will do some in the Netherlands because there's still a lot of exploring for me to do. Cities that I've never been to or have been to, but not with my scanner on. So all pre-Ingress, and there's still some amazing things to do here.
Very cool. What city are you in Netherlands? Just kind of
I live in Leiden, which is 20 minutes north of The Hague and 40 minutes south of Amsterdam.
Oh, okay. Cool. I think I'll be over there probably in about 3 or 4 months, so I might have to pay you a visit.
Right?
Hang out, collect some keys and some portals and some uniques out that way.
Yeah, true.
So, this one went by really quick too.
Yeah.
We're just having too much fun with our guests tonight, and so now it's that time. For better or worse, Joris, you get 60 seconds to say your piece, shout outs to whoever or about whatever you want. So, please.
Okay. Well, a 60-second shout out definitely goes out to Leiden community, both Resistance and Enlightenment, because without either one, it would not be as much fun playing. Furthermore, it goes out to the mission community in the Netherlands, which is a great one. Whether you want to play in the east of the country or in the north, you just do a ping and you get a nice banner to do within every time frame you want to do it. So yeah, you make great friends. Rotterdam Anomaly, I met a few people who I've only spoken to on Hangouts, and well, they've been amazing.
Well, thank you so much for staying up and or waking up. And I don't know if you're going to go off and do a banner now, anyway, but really appreciate you being here. And if not, if you're going to bed, sweet dreams.
Yeah, welcome. And thank you very much. It was an honor to be on the show, and I think I'll do some sleeping just before. In 2 hours, my alarm goes off again.
All right, everybody. So we did talk about at the beginning of the show about our upcoming episode 100, and we're going to be on break. So we'll be coming back on July 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and our guest will be Mr. John Hankey. And I hope you know, but if you don't know, John Hankey is the founder and CEO of Niantic, and I am just absolutely thrilled and honored and scared to death that he will actually be here for that milestone episode. So we'll be collecting some questions in advance, and we'll be posting online. So hope that you will tune in for that evening. And yes, you can find out more information on both the Google Plus and Facebook profiles, which we have both, and even also on our website, behindthescanner.com.
All right, July 7th. Calendar marked.
Yes.
It's exciting. No, seriously, I'm stoked. That's a big get. That's pretty rad. So, I guess I'll see you then, Daphne, huh? And everyone else watching, happy hacking, and thanks for watching this episode of Behind the Scanner. And like Daphne said, July 7th, we get the big cheese, Mr. John Hankey.
It's on.
It is on. All right, thanks, everyone. Have a great, I guess, month almost.
A couple of weeks.
All right, thanks very much.
Usually this is when our credits come on. Oh, there they are. And I do like this design, the blue and the green together. I feel very inspired by you, Joris.
A little fan. Little both colors having their time.
Some glyphs on there. It's good. It's
Yep,
good.
I like it.
Good
I
stuff.
like it.
All right, see you soon, guys.